Well, hi, everyone, and welcome to the ASPRS Mentors Podcast. My name is Greg Stadmish, Chair of the ASPRS Early Career Professionals Council, or ECPC. We also have with us Jordan Hicks, Vice Chair of the ECPC. Jordan, you want to say hi?
Yeah, thanks, Greg. I'm Jordan Hicks, Vice Chair of the Early Career Professionals Council, and I'm a lidar specialist in North Little Rock, Arkansas. I'm really glad to be here today and really excited for our interview with Paul. Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Jordan. So as Jordan mentioned, our guest this week is Paul Badr. Paul, is it safe to share this recording on YouTube, Spotify, and iTunes?
Absolutely. We'd be delighted. Yes. Thank you.
Perfect. So to start off, can you give us a brief background story regarding your career and education and what motivated you to get into this field?
Great. Well, thank you, Greg. I just want to, first of all, extend my sincere gratitude for including me on this. It means a lot. So thank you so much. Thank you, Jordan, for arranging. Thank you, ASPRS. This is special. So I appreciate it. Yeah, my name is Paul Badr. My title here at this company, GPI Geospatial, I'm the president, and I reside in Charlotte, North Carolina. To give you a brief background, I've been in this business since 1989, so that tells you my age. Went to school for civil engineering technology at UNC Charlotte. And, obviously took all kinds of neat classes. And one of them was, surveying, and they touched on photogrammetry back in the day, very small little chapter. And then graduated from UNCC and started looking for a job. And the placement agency put me in touch with a company called Charles T. Main, which now became Parsons. And they had a mapping department here in Charlotte. And then so I went and interviewed for the job. And so they put me in a temp position in their photo lab. And this is when I was exposed to, aerial imagery. Back in the day, it was all film and enlargements and orthos and mapping and analytical plotters. And then, so I just started, in the photo lab, working my way there and learning, the photogrammetry techniques. And then fell in love with it. I still remember the first time someone put me on a plotter, and I was looking in stereo, and I was like, wow, this is, you can see everything in 3D. Roads and buildings, and this is how you compile them. This is, before obviously digital. And then worked 6 months there. Then someone was leaving the aerial triangulation department, and I was offered to be to do layout basically for aerial triangulation, and then work on an instrument called the PUG machine, which is a pretty neat instrument. You place two dipositives in stereo, and then you clear parallax, and then you basically tie the dipositives together via these pass points and tie points, and then basically prepping the imagery for triangulation. And I did triangulation for 5 years, and I got to be so good at it. And that's how I started my career.
Perfect. I like that, talking about the first time you seen images in 3D. I have that similar experience in school where that's like the gateway drug, I think.
Exactly.
So can you talk about GPI's services, client base, sectors, and technology?
Yeah, so GPI is we're an engineering company, about 1,800 people, and we have several profit centers, 13 profit centers, and one of them is a geospatial branch. And out of the 1,800 people, we're about 150. And we have 9 offices, the geospatial branch does. And so we have offices in Miami, Florida, all the way up to Sheboygan, Wisconsin. And then primarily, obviously, we're a full service remote sensing and surveying company offering aerial photogrammetry, lidar, orthoimagery, topo mapping, mobile lidar. We do asset inventory, reality capture, and BIM. And then, of course, your traditional surveying from boundaries to altas to right-of-way mapping. And we do some hydro survey and SU. So I think of us as the 360 sort of remote sensing and surveying combined. We have a lot of great people. Many of them are obviously ASPRS certified photogrammetrists and CMT analysts, and we encourage our team members to participate and volunteer and get their licenses with ASPRS. We actually have a program where we give them, spot bonuses on earning these certifications and then adjusting their salaries. So we believe in continuous improvement and development, and then we encourage them to learn. And because if they learn and become obviously stronger, that means we'll become stronger. And at the end of the day, it's our employees who are our biggest assets, and that's what makes us who we are.
That's awesome. I love it. Sounds like a great place to work.
Yeah.
So if you could pick 1 to 3 of those services that you presently offer, maybe even some that you have your eye on that you don't offer yet, which ones do you feel have the greatest potential growth in the next few years, and how can I prepare myself to get into those fields?
I would say to pick 1 or 2, I'll start with BIM and digital twin modeling. That's to me is so powerful. We're doing a huge project now in Miami for Miami-Dade International Airport, where we're going there and then scanning their facilities and terminals. And it starts from, BIM modeling, scan to BIM, and then from there it progresses to digital twins. And obviously a lot of people talk about digital twins, but it's so powerful. This is basically you're sitting at your desk if you're a facilities manager. You have your 3D oculars on, and then you're navigating through the airport. You want to discover an item, an asset in your facility, and then you click on the asset. It's got attributes. It tells you when it was installed, the manufacturer, the serial number, when it needs to be replaced. You can tie this information to the budget. Imagine if you're a big facilities like an airport, you're not going to wait until the light bulbs go out before you replace them. So you put them on a schedule, and then you can scientifically experiment. Let's suppose, you can study the patterns of traffic, foot traffic, human traffic in these hallways. And you say, okay, so from this hour to this hour, if I drop the temperature down, how much savings is it going to yield? And it does that for you. It's very powerful for facilities management and future expansion and controlling your facilities. So to me, this is, photogrammetry, 3D, lidar, asset management, GIS. It's like you combine all of this into one tool, and it's giving you what you need. So it's very, very powerful. And I think the future is that with smart buildings and smart cities and smart roads, where you have complete confidence in the data, and it's continuously updated. The other item or services is the energy market. We do a lot of energy work, and I don't think the energy companies can generate fast enough, from renewables to green energy to your traditional fossils and hydro, uh, all thanks to the lidar data, where you can do veg management, for example. You're flying over a transmission line, you're collecting, 35, 40 points per square meter, you're classifying and feature coding this lidar data. They have all of the assets all in front of them. Then you can identify trees who are danger trees, and then you give an analysis, and then out of this group of trees, you highlight one of them, say, yeah, this one, in the case of a storm, is going to fall on this transmission line, it's going to affect this zone, and so on. So you're talking about real data, very accurate, very fast. And then so they're using it for inspections, they're using it for environmental reasons, they're using it for capacity, they're using it for, if you have a 500 kV line and you want to run a parallel one next to it, that's the type of data that you need. So the energy market is here to grow, and the BIM market is here to grow. And that's the two that I'm excited about.
So do you think for the BIM market, do you think the growth trajectory there is coming from the architecture world or the geospatial world, or
I think both. I think a combination of both. It's coming from the geospatial world. The architecture world is also embracing this technology. They're also embracing, obviously, the vertical structures, during scanning. This is an existing structure, basically, that you're now producing a digital twin. But imagine having that plan during construction, meaning I'm going to go in there and then start scanning these facilities as they're being constructed floor by floor. Before you put, let's say, the walls up, and now you're going to see all of the conduits, and then you have these plans. And then so now there's no mystery anymore, and then I can marry all of this data. And then so to me, the planning should be obviously at the construction stage and at the planning stage, and then you take it from there to make it a smart building or a smart structure. But for existing structures, obviously you have to do, and then you have to kind of like digitize whatever information that you have to make it into a digital twin, which becomes a little harder, but it needs to happen. But I think you're starting to see that flow, and at the initial stage of design and construction.
Very neat. So what's a day in the life of being the president at GPI like, and what are the essential skills for executive level leadership?
Well, yeah, that's, I tell you, you have to enjoy what you do to be successful. I owned my own company for 20 years, and I've loved working every single day because it was so interesting. And then I sold it to GPI back in 2014, and I'm working for my current employer. And GPI is a unique company. They give us the freedom to grow the company and support us. And then so it's kind of like feels like you're owning it. And then you make the decisions as such. And being an ESOP company, an employee stock ownership plan company, you feel like you're contributing, you're enhancing people's livelihoods and careers, and so it's rewarding. So I'm excited every day. There's a challenge every day, and of course I'm up to the task, and you have to enjoy what you do to do it well. And I believe my task now is to advance our staff's knowledge and careers and give them the tools to succeed. And then we have a lot of young workforce that are eager to learn and improve. And then so that's sort of like what excites me every day, is the ability to mentor and then help our staff. It's a challenging world. Obviously, you got to keep up with technology. But this is when, I get to travel and meet folks and meet industry leaders and surround myself with great mentors as well, and then learn the tools and the markets and the services, and bring it back to our office and figure out what we need to do and to keep the organization, the growth in the organization going, and then give them the tools to do it right and do it efficient.
So assuming over the course of your career, you've had to make some difficult decisions at certain points, how do you manage making those decisions? And do you have any tips for the young listeners?
Yeah, I'm confident in my decision making. One of them, my tip would be, you got to have confidence in your decisions. We're not always going to make the right decisions. We're going to stumble, we're going to make mistakes, but it's okay. That's life. It's not always perfect. And then but at the end of the day, you want to treat people with respect. You want to treat your fellow employees with dignity and empathy and inclusivity, and then go with your gut feeling. It's always 90% of the time it's right. And then but I make decisions very carefully, and I'll make, they're not light decisions. There is a big thought after them, and of course I'm surrounded by really great people too. And if I need to run my decision to my direct reports, my directors, I can do that. And then so basically, make the decisions that you feel are right, and then hopefully you'll know that these are the right decisions, and then life goes on. So that's sort of how I make my decisions, is put yourself in somebody else's shoes, and then try to learn from past mistakes.
So what strategies for growth have been the most effective in expanding GPI as a business?
So geographically, I would say, this business is still geographically minded. Yes, we can fly anywhere, but if you want to do work, let's say in South Florida, you're gonna have to have an office in Miami or close to it. And then be close to your clients, be reachable, and give them the solutions that you as a professional feel are the good solutions. So to me, introducing technology, introducing efficiency plans, give them good products, and the client will stay with you. It's not really it's not really that complicated. If you have the right people, the knowledge and the know-how, the clients will come to you because of your reputation. And so we have a lot of seller doers in our company. These folks have clients that depend on them for advice. I tell my staff, we're advisors. We're professional advisors to our clients. Find solutions, separate yourself from the crowd. Yes, everybody can do lidar, but can everybody do lidar this way? Or can they deliver this type of accuracy for this price or for this efficiency? So you always have to separate yourself from the crowd, and then surround yourself by proven technology and good people, and then pick your geography where you want to be, and then the growth plans gets implemented that way. So that's why we kind of like have 9 offices, and sometimes we have to go to where the talent is. We have an office in Sheboygan, Wisconsin. Great people up there. We have a lot of smart people in that office. But we don't, we do work for Wisconsin DOT and some other clients up in that area. But it's meant to keep the people that we want near their homes and up in that area. So pick a location, pick services, give them the tools to succeed, and success will follow.
So how do you balance integrating those cutting edge tools while maintaining profitability and meeting the client needs?
That's a tough one. As you know, technology is expensive. You really can't buy a sensor anymore for less than $1.5 million to $2 million. Add aircraft and add tools and hangars and all of that. So it's very expensive. But we tell our clients, what we give you is still cheaper than doing it, in the field or conventionally. When we scan a roadway, 20 miles, yes, you're paying us for owning these expensive sensors, but we're giving you, 500s accuracy on hard surfaces. I tell our clients we literally can read the thickness of the paint stripe. This is how accurate our data is. And then you're keeping people off the highway. Safety is number one priority. You don't have to put surveyors or team members on these roadways, and then you just let us give you the tools, and we give you added value. What more can we give you beyond surface files or beyond point clouds? Well, we can give you imagery, oblique imagery, then it can give you spherical imagery. Now and then we can give you video, and then we can capture some SUV along with it. We can now do, roadway inventory with our data. And so there's a lot more than just a data set. And then so if you get that, if you show your client what more you can do with the data, then they can get that value added. And yes, the expense will be less if, let's say, now the sign inventory is available along with the point cloud. So that's kind of like how we approach things. And but yes, technology is very expensive, and but the idea here is to keep your instruments and your sensors busy and of course deliver great products and superior products to your clients.
So what professional organizations have you volunteered for, and how has that volunteering time and expertise benefited your personal and professional growth?
I love to give back. To me, it's not just giving back but me learning as well. And so I can start with North Carolina Statewide Mapping Advisory Committee. I chair the SMAC. That's what it stands for. This state is very progressive when it comes to geospatial data. And then so under my SMAC, we have the statewide orthoimagery program. The state captures imagery and produces orthos for all 100 counties at every cycle, every year. 25 counties get to new orthos, 4-band imagery, half a foot, and then some cities, some urban areas can buy true orthos on their own during that phase. And then, of course, we send them to the GIS folks in these counties. And then, of course, the lidar plan for the statewide also falls under my committee. And all of this data is available on nc1map.com. If you're buying, let's say, a parcel in this state, a home, and you want to know if it's in a flood zone, you can do that homework yourself. You can go on that website and find it. We have the next gen 911 system also on that under that committee. And I can't emphasize how rich and useful and needed this type of data becomes, especially with hurricanes becoming more violent, and you need good data for flood modeling and predictions. I'll give you an example. We have a lot of hurricanes that in the past years that hit the state, and a 911 call comes into the dispatcher. That dispatcher has the data right in front of them the minute the call comes in. Example would be you got a 2-story home. We know the height of the structure. We have a digital aerial ortho image. We have the flood map model. We can tell the homeowner that in the next 2 hours, your home is going to be flooded, all from geospatial data. We can tell them to turn off the breakers, go up to the second floor, wait for someone to come and rescue you, and then not even one call gets unanswered. And then of course this data saves lives. So we're very proud of that. We have the geographic names, the metadata standards, the land cover data. All of that falls under the SMAC. And so from infrastructure to government agencies to DOTs to 911 systems, parcel information, GIS, all falls under the SMAC. And so I'm very proud of that volunteering position. I've been doing it now for 6 years. I just got appointed by our governor to continue on that work, which I enjoy because one is I give back, and my job is to connect dots between agencies. Hydro programs, we have statewide lidar data. Why can't we use that for your needs? And then so that's what I do is I connect dots between state agencies and of course try to protect the public and give the residents and the state agencies the geographic and the geospatial need data that they need to accommodate our citizens. So that's one. The second one is I served as a MAPS board member. I'm no longer on the board, but that was also very rewarding. The organization is very active, obviously, with a lot of geospatial companies. And then, of course, our job is to expand and enhance and support geospatial companies throughout the U.S. within our means, meaning federal work and of course networking and so on. And then one of the greatest volunteering now is on the ASPRS board. I chair the Sustaining Members Council, and then so basically I'm the representative of the interests of I represent the interests of ASPRS sustaining members on the board, and of course I keep the board informed of council activities and initiatives, and then I keep the council members informed of board activities, and of course I facilitate the determination of sustaining member benefits. And then so ASPRS is a crucial organization to our profession. It is the standard organization, and I've been a member since since the 90s, since I think it was 1990. And of course, I'm a certified photogrammetrist. I enjoy serving on the ASPRS board, and I'm thankful for the opportunity. So those are the 3 organizations that I'm involved in.
So how have your contributions to those organizations influenced the direction and advancement of the remote sensing industry?
Well, so, all of these data, I take, for example, the North Carolina statewide, with connecting dots between people and agencies and data sets. For example, just the state itself or the DOT, using this data to, map highways. And yes, you can use statewide data to repurpose it for your needs. That to me advances the geospatial profession. It provides ways for consultants to to do smart planning and smart designs based off of that data. Agencies, energy companies, and all of that. On the ASPRS, of course, and or maps. Obviously, we encourage government agencies um, to reward contracts to mapping companies, geospatial companies who are capable of providing remote sensing products and deliverables to them. So basically, business wise, technology wise, all of it falls under that volunteering and expanding the geospatial profession through that type of work.
So for young people that want to start giving back, what advice can you give them? Well, I guess you've talked about the benefits, but how can they get involved?
I would say interning, if you're in college and then you're studying any field related to the geospatial industry, start interning at these companies. And then we're in young folks, young professionals are really in a good position. Now, you can do it remotely. You can work via Teams or other ways. And so you're not anymore bound to kind of like, a geographical location of a particular internship or an office. So you have the tools, remote tools to work, which is wonderful. So interning and learning and then volunteering and then going to these conferences, attending, let's say, the ASPRS conferences and workshops, learning about the profession from what we're doing now, with this type of programming, and then pour yourself into learning from others and then reading and then of course volunteering. So to me, the more you learn, the more you become valuable to your future employer, or if you want to start your own company, you can do that. And then so you learn the business aspect, you learn the professional aspect, you learn the technical aspect of things, and it makes you more needed and more powerful. Don't, just box yourself into something. Learn as much as you can. A point cloud is a point cloud, whether it comes from the air or from mobile or from a scanner. It's all the same, whether we're mapping now indoor or outdoor and statewide. It's just a great time to be in, and technology keeps on getting better and better. Now, using obviously machine learning, we found out in this state we were missing close to 1.2 million buildings. Well, yeah, we taught it how to look for buildings off of orthoimagery. And now, the data set is complete. And then so you can online go and then read how this model got developed and the tools used, and you'll be surprised how effective this stuff is. And so then you can read about these solutions and then take it to your employers and then provide yourself and your technical expertise. It's just a great, profession to be in. It's so exciting and it's challenging and it changes every day for the better. And it's definitely a special time. I'm very excited for the young professionals.
So how can they balance the demands of volunteering with their primary responsibilities to their business? And what skills are crucial to balancing those, particularly for those people that may have like a more of a grinder job where they have lines they have to meet and things like that?
It's hard. You have to, it takes hours, right? But then, hard work pays off. And so, yes, you're not going to be able to do it during your 8 to 5 job. You might have to do it on your own time, and then introducing these solutions and benefits of what you're learning back to your employer or back to your client. And then so, yeah, it does take hard work, but I assure you, hard work pays off, knowledge pays off, persistence pays off, and then just failure is not an option. And then so the more you push, the more yield you're going to have, and it's going to be a positive one. So find ways to figure things out, but yes, don't be mistaken. It all comes with long hours and hard work, but it's not impossible. Anyone driven can do it, and that's the only way, in my opinion.
So who are your mentors?
I have a lot of mentors. I learn a lot from a lot of people. One is, we have sort of like a corporate suite on our side that I learn a lot from. I learn from my fellow branch managers that are running successful organizations. Some of them, 2, 3, 400 people branches. They may not be geospatial, but it doesn't really matter. I learned the business that goes with it and the techniques. So within our company, I learned from my peers and my CEO and the CFO and business wise. And then, of course, in our industry, there are a lot of mentors. I think of great companies run by professionals that started just like me from scratch out of school, and they went through different stages of technology and learning from them. So that's how I learn, by being surrounded by other smart people and then learning their techniques. But I don't have anyone in particular. I just love listening to a lot of people, a lot of professionals. I
That's
see.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, it shows that anybody can be a mentor regardless
that's
of
right.
their role.
That's right.
So what do you get back out of your work, and what is your greatest accomplishment?
What I get back out of my work is following our 7 strategic objectives to our uh, people. We live by these strategic objectives. One of them, the first one is employee satisfaction. As I mentioned, we do everything we possibly can for our employees to enhance their livelihoods and then keep them excited and energetic and motivated. And so that's one. And then so after employee satisfaction, obviously comes quality product. If you have a satisfied employee, surely they're gonna yield a quality product. And if you have a quality product, then you have client satisfaction. Notice it starts with the employees, it goes to the product, and then the client satisfaction. And if you have satisfied clients, then you can have financial strength. And then you don't need to worry about work and where is it coming from. And because you have satisfied clients, they're going to come back to you. And if you have financial strength, then you can manage your risk. I don't need to be going after anything that pops up and that might be risky. Now I can choose which projects or which markets or which services I can offer. If you're managing your risk, obviously now you're getting to your goals oriented management, and then you set your goals at the end of the year, and then hopefully at the beginning of each year, and hopefully accomplish them by the end of the year. And of course, you strive for continued growth, and that continued growth is for your employees to have the ability and the chance to develop their careers and lead livelihoods and improve. So that's sort of like how we live, how we do things at this company, and it taught me also how to translate that into personal things and items. And so I hope I answered that last question.
Yeah, that was good. We have a question from Yusuf. He's got his hand raised. I'll let him ask.
Dr. Youssef, how are you?
Good. How are you, Paul?
Great. Thank you. How you been?
Good, good. Thank you. This is really, we can relate. Everybody here can relate to your story. when it comes to volunteering, when it comes to everything that you're mentioning, which really have very impactful, I would say, meaning to us. So my question to you, I like the way that you structure things, and you should be invited more because I feel like the questions from Greg, really allowed us to listen to some really interesting stuff. So my first question, you said for people who are really like thinking about starting their own business,
Right.
they need to keep learning, and this is something key. And probably when you are an employee, you can manage because you put it into three aspects: the business aspect, the technical aspect, and the professional aspect.
Correct.
My question to you, just to make it quick, do you need to feel like mature in all of these or the technical? Because a lot of people that I know, and maybe I'm one of them, we feel like the technical, once you have the technical, that's where you can go and shine and you can start a business.
Right.
Of course, the business and I want to relate this to the other part that you really ended in a very nice way. I've been attending all the mentors, almost everyone,
Right.
but the way you put it about entrepreneurship, that the satisfaction is client satisfaction.
Right.
Then you said it will have a financial strength, and then you will allow you to manage this risk, and then grow the company.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, for people who think about the first things that you mentioned,
Right.
you put really a nice way to look at things.
Exactly. Yeah. And Dr. Kadura, to me, like you're one of the mentors. To me, we look up to you because you have so much wisdom and you've learned so much, and then you're now passing all of this knowledge to people and young folks and all of us. So first of all, thank you for all of what you've done. You're making our profession even better. So
Inspired by you.
well, thank you. And so I got to tell you this story. So, obviously when I opened my first company, I did not have the business acumen, and this is pre-internet days. That tells you, my age. I'm in my late 50s. And so I went down to the bank and I said, how do I get a loan to start a business? And then the banker says, well, you need a business plan. Thinking business plan. Okay, so let's go to the library and I printed out a business plan. And then the business plan, what it taught me are the steps, what are you trying to accomplish? The goals, and how you're gonna buy equipment, and then your marketing strategy and your business development, and how you're gonna, break in and your knowledge and all of that. So when you mentioned, business and then followed by technical. So if you don't know about the business, there are so many tools now, from LinkedIn Learning to online tools to teach you how to start a business or how to borrow money for a business and so on. So I encourage you to do your homework there. And then, of course, the technical, like you said, Dr. Kadura, you have to find time to learn, find time to read, find time to listen to these podcasts, find time to talk to other mentors, to be inquisitive. Show me how to do this. What do you mean classification? How do you classify lidar data? Can I sit and watch you? And then so you have to learn all of this. You don't need to be doing it every day, but you need to learn, the process. What is it that you're trying? What is it that it yields? And then so be inquisitive, and then continue learning, and then be structured. Um, you know, be goals oriented as well, like you mentioned. So employee satisfaction, quality product, client satisfaction, financial strength, managed risk, goals oriented management, and then followed by continued growth. And then they all make sense, and there's not one before the other. And then, so that's my advice. I hope I answered the question, Yosef.
Of course, thank you very much.
Thank you. Great seeing you.
Well, thanks, Paul. I think that's all we have here, unless Yusuf has any more. I don't see any other hands raised. But if anybody wants to reach out and get in touch, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Email is P as in Paul, and then Badr as in my last name, B-A-D-R. So PBADR at gpinet.com. And I assure you, I will respond and I'll be happy to talk to anyone. So Greg, Jordan, ASPRS, thank you so much for this opportunity. I really do appreciate it. And then hope to see you guys soon at the ASPRS conference.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.